My name's Jeff Martin. I'm an Associate Professor of Strategy at Melbourne Business School. So I've had a long-standing relationship with Jai and IBA through the Murrah program that we run at Melbourne Business School, which has introduced me to Jai and a number of other amazing and impressive Indigenous Australians. I've developed a strong relationship with Jai, and Jai and I both share an interest in trying to reconcile capitalism with Aboriginal culture and trying to understand more about how you can win in business or in any organisation because of your Aboriginal culture and leverage that as an asset. I feel tremendous responsibility to be part of trying to help Aboriginal people, Indigenous people, succeed and prosper in any way I can. So here I am. So this requires us understanding what are the values that define Aboriginality, and then asking the question, well, how can that allow us to win? Say, for instance, through the customer value proposition. So we appeal to their sense of social responsibility or their empathy with the reconciliation cause. Or we can draw on those values to win in terms of the processes internally. So for instance, the stronger sense of family, the stronger sense of community, which means we're more likely to work together as a team, and therefore we're more efficient or can deliver a stronger customer experience because we're Aboriginal. We're seeing increasing purchase behaviour based on values alignment or the attraction to values. And by that I mean, there might be two products exactly the same, but I know the owners of the business selling product A, say Indigenous owners, do a lot for the community. That's their values, and I like that, and I'm going to buy because of that. Now, this is really different across different segments. So there'll be parts of the Australian consumer landscape that don't buy on social responsibility or on values alignment or on reconciliation. But that segment that does is growing. I need to have enough money in the pocket to feed my family or to pay some staff. The other part of this equation is creating social value. And we call this shared value. So I'm creating economic and customer value, but at the same time, I'm trying to solve social problems. And how do I do that? Well, I employ Indigenous people. I might find ways to use extra cash that I earn for, say, local social causes, domestic health, mental health, school completion of Indigenous years, whatever it might be. So I want them to think about business in terms of that holistic approach. It's called a balanced approach. You're moving towards a shared understanding of what your vision for Indigenous Australia, say 2070 is. And that's a really important first step in you changing the world, creating economic value enough to pay for my employees and feed myself and my family, and I'm creating social value at the same time. And I want to really put that in their face. Look, here's what you've got to do. Creating value across multiple stakeholders in a really methodically, well thought out way. Go forth and conquer. Intrigue and energy, I reckon in equal doses. You can see there's a group of really impressive young people in there, and they all have such passion for the cause of furthering the social goals, closing the gaps for Indigenous Australia. So you can see that really strong social conscience coming through, that energy associated with that, and then the intrigue as to what's this all going to be about and how you're going to help me fine-tune, structure my thinking to achieve my social goals. So what are the 2 or 3 problems that really resonate with you? And maybe it's the problems at your table or the problems you identified somewhere else. What do you really want to hang your hat on? What social problem do you really want to address? And I think at this age, when they haven't done a lot of this stuff, this workshopping, conference stuff, maybe they don't understand the power of this, the power of them learning from one another as to how they solve their social problems in their communities or how they might tackle a particular business problem. And then the network they hopefully have for life. Like this will be the beginning of some hopefully lifelong relationships which will provide a support network at really critical times of their personal lives and business lives. I think as a society we just seem to be at a crossroads. We're lacking meaning. There's been a breakdown institutions, we don't trust our politicians, we don't trust our business leaders. So what do we trust? Well, we trust our culture, we trust our families. That's who we trust. And we're looking for other organisations or businesses that have that values alignment. So I think, going back to a comment I made earlier, that the tendency to buy on values alignment is growing at a double-digit rate. And so I think the opportunity for these young people to start to be at the cutting edge of these social enterprises and creating businesses driven by values that then sell great product because of those values and attract great employees because of those values. You know, there's very few organisations that nail that. You know, Apple was one of them, where their values, like we're changing the world, it created this energy that attracts employees and customers and makes for this amazing organisation. Who else in the world has done that? I'm really struggling to think of others. But those people in that room, and this is what I'm trying to get them to set lofty goals, to be the Steve Jobs of Indigenous Australia. And you can all be that collective group together and change the way we think about business, restore trust in business, because you've got these amazing values, and we'll all trust you because I know that you're Aboriginal, and I know the way you approach business and life, and so I do think society is moving in the right direction because of these crises we have, and that group of people in there is going to show us the next iteration of capitalism.